Hey everybody, this is the assembly video for the DIY infinite laser. Just wanted to show you quickly how the parts go together. I'm not going to explain the firmware or the wiring. That's kind of up to the hardware that you guys have and the laser that you guys have. But this is just a real quick assembly video. So I'm gonna start off with the modular design because it's already taken apart and easier to explain. This is the general idea. I don't have the wheels printed, but it's because it's on that the larger laser. But the modular design is nice because you can print all the parts. You can make it as tall as you want by increasing this piece. There's a top front half, a top back half, and then the whole entire bottom is one printed piece. There's some extra holes if you want to use it. I didn't think it was necessary, but front and back. Mount your extruder here. That's the right hand side. The extruder side, pretty similar on the other side. Print or buy, cut whatever 2020 extrusion length you want. Mount it on here. There's a front and a back top. These are identical, so you just print two of them, and the bottom half is just exactly that one but mirrored. So there's that half. And so beauty in this design is you can print your 2020 extrusion, which is actually fairly strong if you bend it like this, but the problem is it twists pretty easily. I don't know if you can see how much that's twisting, but it twists pretty easily, and since your laser is going to be mounted and hanging forward, it'll wobble a bit. That's what I found. So that's why I went to the 2020 extrusion, the metal extrusion. Yeah, it sits in there. You put your T-nuts in there and you're good to go. Now to explain the wheel a little bit, I do have one of the wheels taken off of that side over there, and I have these little rubber bands, and this screw sits in here with a threaded insert. I thought it'd be better to have a threaded insert in here because it'll hold the fastener a little bit tighter to make sure that it doesn't come off when it's printing. And so you can see that it screws in there. This is a D-shaped hole, so you put it on the stepper with where the flat side is. And let me go over to that one real quick. So here's the extra large laser. This is the reduced print version. So this whole entire left side, let me move the camera a bit. This whole entire left side is one piece. You just print that one part, you mount it all together, and it's pretty nice. Let me put the wheel back on to show you. Turn that screw up a bit, match the flat side. It goes in, screw that back down, and you're good. And just make the wheel straight. So that's how that goes on. Oh, you can see the extruder is just mounted with countersink holes. I have this loose to show you guys, but this wheel is kind of just an idler wheel. And I printed a little bushing for the for the 1/4 inch screw, and both this wheel and this side have ball bearings, and the bushing just makes it so that it's centered and nothing is crooked. So that's how the wheels work. The idler is right here. Something I did with the idler is I have two nuts on either side. They're loose, but they're just mostly meant to keep the idler from moving around when the belt moves back and forth. So I just had it thread directly into this hole. I think this is an M4 screw, but the hole is an M3. You can just put a nut on the end if you need to. Let me pull the other side around real quick. This side is probably the more significant side. Here's the screen. I removed the screws off already, but there's 2 screws that go up here that hold the display on. It's not really the best solution because 2 screws, it'll wobble, but I found it. It's good enough. And this is the board that I have. It's a Creality V2.2.1 silent board. It's got 2 extruders. Doesn't matter, this is just the board that I had left over. I do have holes to mount this specific board onto the display mount. I only use one of the screws actually, and it sits there fine. The back side, let's try and get this in frame. You can see here's the extruder gear, and these screws go through both the display mount and the extruder mount, so the display is kind of sandwiched in between. And yeah, this whole piece is one single print, same wheels on both sides. The last thing is the laser mount. The laser mount is pretty basic design, but I did it this way so that you can just loosen one screw and raise and lower the laser as much as you need. If you have like a box that you want to cut or engrave or something larger, you can do that. But if you have something flat, like I engraved my plywood panel, it can go really low, and it's pretty simple adjustment, and you can do it manually every time. Yeah, I think that's it. Like I said, I'm not gonna explain the wiring or the firmware. Like, you kind of have to figure that stuff out depending on your hardware. And of course, you can leave any questions or comments below. Thanks, guys.